Fred, you're looking at your machine. I hope you like it. I've spent a lot of hours on it, probably more than any other machine that I've worked with. A lot of that had to do with frequency, and then some problems I had with manufacturing. This segment is going to deal with cleaning the generator. This is the generator in the middle. The fluid is called electrolyte, and you can see it in here. It's about level here. Electrolyte, until it gets thoroughly mixed together, as this is a patented 5, actually 6 different components in there. And when you first put it in, it's not uncommon for it to foam the first 2 or 3 cycles of hot and cold. That can be minimized by letting the solution, after it's put in this container with a liter of water, and this is the electrolyte solution that you use. This goes into one of these with 1 liter of water. You unscrew it, but leave the vent off so it can vent off. Let it sit overnight. It'll get hot on the bottom. Maybe shake it a few times, but make sure the lid's closed. This goes in 1 liter of water. That is your electrolyte solution that will go into your generator, and you'll fill it up to the top mark or in between. And that will be the one time only that you put in your electrolyte. From that point on, the only thing that goes in here is distilled water. Now, as they all mix up and come up, you'll get sometimes this black stuff or some film. Most of the time, after it runs, it comes up, it grabs that and washes it away, but I find that sometimes it lingers on for a couple cycles of getting hot and cold before the solution is finally mixed. All solutions on the market currently make the water black and don't work. This is the only one that doesn't. Now, on this right here, to keep it clean like I like to do, I take a piece of coat hanger and wrap some paper towel around it, but make sure you tape the paper towel on to it good on the end so this doesn't fall inside this. And if you took the total amount of this film right here and compressed it, it wouldn't equal a 1/4 grain of rice. It's that thin. I stick it down, get some moisture on it, and then go around it, and it wipes out. Sometimes you have to use a couple of paper towels. You can see some black stuff on the end there. You can usually wipe it off and go back. This affects the performance in absolutely no way, but it makes it look better for the water's bubbling to see clear water, which you will see in no other machine. Okay, I'll probably do that a little better, but you get the idea. Okay, now that we've cleaned it, we go back with an elbow fitting, which is right here. This elbow fitting split on this seam when it went forward in shipping. There was some residue from the electrolyte that came out when this broke, which got on your frame that caused the problems with the paint. As you can see right here on this, there's some Teflon tape that's already been applied to the tape by the manufacturer. So on this right here, it's really not necessary to put any more Teflon tape, as the threads on this I've adjusted. I'm looking for some Teflon tape to show you, which I'll send some in a roll Now when we screw this in, you want to get it in straight. The threads are very well pronounced and drilled perfect. And it's a 9/16 or a 14 millimeter in metric. This would be the only time that you would remove this fitting, is to do what we just did. Okay. The fitting's flush with the white container, the top. We swivel it back over here, actually turn the hose, stick it in, and then as we turn it. This is a one-way valve so that when the machine is hot and you shut it off, it doesn't suck back water into here and then back when it cools like a car's radiator. Now, on the filling procedure of the machine, it's changed. All of the machines on the market that I've seen all require the operator to turn the machine upside down to remove the water in the tanks or the generator. Yours is the first machine that has drain spigots. On the side right here, you'll see a spigot coming out with a 6 millimeter hose, which I'll supply with you, that sticks in here, and you would drain it into a tank like this. Hose would stick in there, goes into the tank, and you just open the valve. It would probably flow better to come out if you released the stopper so you could let the air out. This is the stopper in the back, also the fill point. After you drained it, you would turn the knob back crossways, and you'd want to put water back in here. Now I've got to find my funnel. Oh, here. Okay, so the filling procedure is this. Where we're going to fill the hose up at is on the same spot that we took out the stopper. Now, this hose is small enough to go through the hole here and still allow space for the air to come out. You just enter it into the hole, turn it around a little bit, and it'll go right in. From here, you fill up your water levels. You can fill them up to right here so that you can see it. I like to have it up to here. How do you know it's there? You just turn it on its side. Come over here in the front, Jason. You can see it here. If you turn it on the side, you can tell. So it's not critical either way. But they're filled, the systems, you use this funnel on the small silver outlets on back of each scrubber tank. This is your left one, that's your right one. The hose will go in there and air can come out and you can pour in your fluids. And when you're through doing your fluids in there, you take your hose out and you put your stopper back and you're finished. Now, let's go to the front over here, Jason. The right tank here will take 90% of all of the contaminants out, closer to 99%. What's left over is caught in the second scrubber tank on the far left here. This tank will become dirty first. How would you know when it's dirty? When you take a sample of water from the spigot on the other end, it'll feel slippery. If it feels slippery, wash your hands right away. and or if it smells, needs to be changed. Good idea if you're using the machine regularly, change this at least once a week, and this may be every 2 weeks, or change them both every week. It's no big problem. With the spigots here, it's quite easy. Now, for changing the fluid in this thing, people in Maui, I do it for them. I don't like people doing. Now, the covers that go here are made out of metal. They're not ready yet. I'm going to ship the machine without them. These covers here are very rigid, are not like the other ones, and they'll work fine. You don't even need them. There's no purpose for them except for cosmetics. Now, the place, can you get in here, Jason?
Sure, I can. Very good. I don't need to
Inside,
go in.
this way is okay.
I don't need to
Stop
light.
the camera for a second then.